Did you know that the legend is the rarest fish in Stardew Valley? Well, I mean, you probably did. But did you know that the eel is the second rarest fish? I bet you didn't. But Mango, how do you know the eel is the second rarest fish in Stardew Valley? Because I calculated it. Credit to Decknell for the video idea. While fishing is one of the most important skills in Stardew Valley, there are no rarities given to different fish. And also, by looking at the wiki, you won't find any rarities. And I really want to know because... I just really want to know, okay? So I had to make up my own. That's why I calculated the rarity of every fish in the game and I gave it a number from 0 to 1, which I define as the mango fish scale. The lower the number, the rarer the fish. For example, the sturgeon scored a 0.674, while the chub scored a 0.93 on the scale. And obviously we aren't actually weighing the fish, because there are no scales in Stardew Valley. So I started out by looking for the way I should calculate it. I concluded there were 5 important factors I should use. First, in how many seasons can you catch the fish? In how many hours of the day can the fish be caught? Are there any weather conditions, or can you catch the fish in any weather? How difficult is it to catch the fish? And lastly, the location required for the catch. I will be breaking down every category and explain why this is important. Starting with, in how many seasons can you catch the fish? In Stardew Valley, most fish have a certain season or seasons that you can catch them in. Either spring, summer, fall or winter, or a combination of those. So when we take the salmon for example, you can only catch it in fall, so it has a 25% spawn rate if you're looking at seasons. Therefore it gets 25 points in the column season, and this works because there are 28 days in every season. Another example is the sturgeon. You can only catch it in summer and winter. That's 50% of the seasons, so it gets 50 points. Only there are 3 fish that can't be caught in any season. Or well, let me explain. These fish are the blobfish, spookfish and midnight squid. These can be caught during the night market in the submarine, that's only open from 5 PM to 2 AM. The night market will only be on the beach for 3 days a year, which means you can only catch it 2.68% of the time. In how many hours can you catch the fish? This is important because you can catch some fish throughout the whole day and some fish for only a few hours. I made a simple chart which gives a fish 5 points per hour that it's able to be caught. For example, the catfish, which can be caught from 6 AM to 12 AM. That's 6 hours, so he gets 30 points for the category hours of the day. This works because there are 20 hours in a day in Stardew Valley, from 6 AM up until 2 AM. And 100 divided by 20 is equal to 5, so 5 points per hour. Furthermore, we have weather conditions. Some fish in Stardew Valley are only able to be caught by certain weather conditions. For example, the red snapper. He can only be caught with rainy weather. The season also matters in this, because in spring you have a 13.725% chance to get a rainy day, but in summer you have a 16.35% chance. And since you can catch the red snapper in summer and fall, you can catch him on 15.04% of the days in summer or fall. And that also means that he will get 15.04 points in the weather column. Are you still following? Because it's only gonna get more complicated from here. By the people who made the Stardew Valley wiki, there's also a difficulty assigned to every fish. This is done on a scale from 0 to 100, with one exception of the legend, who has a score of 110. The difficulty represents how hard the fish is to catch. For example, a dorado is way harder to catch than a carp. That's why it has a difficulty of 78 and the carp has a difficulty of 15. And since the mango fish scale works with percentages, I had to reverse the difficulties, because the lower the number, the rarer the fish. So the carp is worth 85 points and the dorado 22. It's important to include the difficulty in this, because if a fish is harder to catch, you might not get it on your first try. And that leaves you with less time to catch it and makes a fish more rare. And finally, there's the location where you catch the fish, or how I call it, the LRFC, the location required for catch. Most of the fish in the game you can just catch in a river or a lake, but some of them require you to unlock a certain area, like the void salmon in the Witch's Swamp. But some areas are easier to unlock than others. That's why I made a list of how many points the fish get for every location where you can catch them. For water you can immediately access 100 points, because it's not rare at all. For accessible after a short time, like the mines, desert or the secret woods, 80 points. And this keeps descending with minus 20 points per tier. If you want to see all the explanation, I will post a spreadsheet in the comments, so you can take a look. And with 5 categories and 500 points in total, that means that we need to divide the total score of a fish by 500 to get their rating on a scale. And once again, the skill range will be from 0 to 1. The lower the number, the rarer the fish. Now that we know how the mango fish scale works, it was time for me to put every fish on the scale and give them a rating. An important thing to keep in mind is that there are 62 fish in the game in total. Once every fish had a rating, I sorted everything out and got the top 5 rarest fish in Stardew Valley. Number 5. The catfish. I was actually surprised to see the catfish so high up on the list, since it's a fish I always catch in spring year 1. But when I looked at his points, it became clear why very quickly. He had a score of 100 in location, 30 in time, only 6 hours a day, 100 in seasons, and even with a rain totem you can catch him in winter, and he had a 15.04 in weather and a 25 in difficulty. That's because you can only catch him when it's raining, and he's a fairly difficult fish to catch. And he got a rating on the mango fish scale of 0.54. Number 4. The octopus. For the octopus I wasn't surprised at all. This fish has been a pain in my in the last Stardew Valley playthrough. Go watch that video if you haven't yet. I fished multiple days trying to catch it, but it just wouldn't bite my hook. Looking at its stats though, it's mainly because he's only available during summer and is high difficulty. His final score on the scale was a 0.53, which is very close to the catfish. Number 3. The pufferfish. The pufferfish claimed the number 3 spot because it's a hard to catch fish, is only available in summer and only 4 hours per day. Its total score was 248.65, which makes a rating of 0.5 on the scale. Number 2. The eel. The number 2 and 3 spots were so close together, but the eel was just a tiny bit more rare due to his low score in the weather column. You can only catch him in spring and fall in the rain. And he also scored pretty low in all of the other categories. And he averaged out at a rating of 0.49. Number 1. The legend. The legend being the rarest fish in the game doesn't surprise me at all. It has always been one of the most hyped fish in the game. And for good reason. He always scores low in every single category except for time of the day. The legend is also the only fish in the game which has a negative difficulty score, since the wiki gives him a difficulty of 110, which doesn't only make him the rarest fish in the game, but also the most difficult one to catch. So you might as well say that the legend is the final boss of all fishes with a rating of 0.34, winning by a landslide from the rest of the fish. And all the way at the bottom of the list we have the carp, chub and bullhead. They got 100 in every category except for difficulty, because there is no fish in the game that has a 0 difficulty on the wiki. Also a funny thing is that there are no legendary fish too in the top 10. You come across the first one at the 14th place. That is because you can catch these fish all the time and in every season. They also don't have any weather conditions, which the first series of legendary fish do have. Now, by looking at the list again, I questioned myself if every fish was really worth its price. Luckily, we could calculate that by multiplying every mango fish skill rating with the fish's base value. If you do that, you get a score which I call the mango fish price skill. Very original, I know. But the top 10 in this was really predictable. It was all legendary fish. They are just worth so much more than the other fish that there's really no competition. A quick top 3 though, or actually 11, 12, 13, we have the lava eel, the ice pip and the blobfish. These fish are worth a lot more money, and all of them don't really rate high on the fish scale. And that's because I didn't think of their catch chance. You see, in Stardew Valley fish don't have a certain catch chance. But that is different for fish in the mines. They actually do have a catch chance. And these chances are super low, which makes the game think that these fish are super rare, and makes them worth a lot of money. I think. I should have built something in the skill to also weigh this factor. So we know the scale is not flawless, but it's certainly a good measurement to see which fish are the rarest. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would also appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, because these videos take a lot of time to make. I also left the spreadsheet with the whole list of ratings of the scale in the description, so feel free to check it out. That was it for this video though, and I'll see you in the next one.